Back in 1983, the movie Krull was supposed to be a big hit. In fact, it was supposed to be so huge that the game company Gottlieb decided to make it into an arcade game, obviously in the hopes of capitalizing on the movie's success. However, Krull bombed at the box office, and I'm sure the makers of this game weren't too pleased about that. Still, on its own, the arcade game is pretty good. So anyway, let's get into it. Krull for the arcade. For a 1983 arcade game, I think the graphics look quite good. The hero Colwyn looks a lot like his movie counterpart, as do the other heroes. And the Beast and the Evil Slayers are also well rendered. In addition, the backgrounds do a nice job replicating the look of the movie. Overall, I'm quite impressed. However, the controls are a bit awkward. Now, the arcade machine has two joysticks. One is for moving Colwyn in 8 different directions, and the other is to launch the movie's signature weapon, the glaive. You can launch up to 4 glaives in any direction at once, but you have to wait for them to come back before you can fire them again. It does take a little bit of time to get used to these controls, and Colwyn does move a bit too slow for my tastes, but otherwise, the controls aren't that bad. I just wish you could fire off more than 4 glaives at once, especially when the enemies are swarming you. As for the gameplay, it's enjoyably diverse. You go through 5 different levels, and each one has different objectives. The first level is the mountain. Here you have to dodge rocks and collect the 5 pieces of the glaive. In level 2, you're in the swamp. Here you save your fellow heroes by walking over them and kill slayers. Level 3 has you saving your men again and blasting a hexagon to escape. Oh yeah, and killing more slayers. Level 4 has you blasting the walls of the hexagon to save your men. And level 5 is the final confrontation with the beast. Here you must avoid the monster, dodge or destroy his fireballs, and rescue Princess Lissa by walking up to her. Then the game loops back to the beginning with increased difficulty. Certain parts of the movie are omitted from the game. For example, the initial castle attack, the Widow of the Web scene, and the Fire Mares scene. But it's still a good adaptation nonetheless. I do have a few issues with the game, however. For one thing, as I said earlier, it's really short. There's around less than 5 minutes of gameplay at most. I wish they had added some more levels to this game, but I suspect the issue of memory limitation prevented this. Another issue is that the game is rather easy, except in certain parts. For example, in the first level, sometimes there are so many rocks that it's nearly impossible to get certain pieces of the glaive. Alright, you can let up on the fucking rocks already! And then there's this shit in the second level. When you get all your men, sometimes the slayers will swarm you. Plus, sometimes there's so much shit flying around the screen that it makes it even harder to avoid enemy fire. Not to mention that some of your fellow heroes are so stupid that they actually run away from you instead of towards you. That's right, assholes! Don't come near me and let me rescue you! I'd rather wipe my ass with a fucking glaive than save these stupid bastards. During gameplay, you only get 3 lives to start, but you can earn more lives after getting so many points. However, once you run out, it's game over, and you can't continue where you left off with extra quarters. Like the Return of the Jedi arcade game, though, this is par for the course. There is one other small criticism I have with Krull. Namely, I wish the game's ending were a bit more substantial. All that happens is your guys come out of these tunnels and that's it. But then again, it's an early arcade game, so it can be forgiven. The game has almost no music to speak of, except for a few quick tunes. Here, listen. They're alright, but nothing really too memorable. Although it is short, the game does have some nice touches. For example, when you hit the hexagon in the 3rd level after rescuing all your men, the slayers die spinning. This also occurs at the end of the 4th level, and every time you beat a level, you get a bunch of spinning glaives as a transition. It's pretty cool. Considering when this game came out, I have to say it's better than I expected. It's not perfect by any means, but I do believe that it doesn't deserve to languish in obscurity. So in conclusion, seek Krull out if you get a chance, because it's well worth your time to play it. This is Film and Stuff, signing off. Thanks for watching. I'd rather wipe my ass with a fucking glaive than save these stupid bastards.